If you've ever felt stuck in your business, if you've ever felt like you couldn't go on, that you couldn't move forward, that for some reason you haven't been able to make money, because money is one of our favorite things to make, because if we have a business, if we give value, we want to get money in return, because money follows value. If you're somebody who says, you know what, I'm trying to grow a business, a side hustle, or any of those things, well, this is going to be the show for you, because we're going to talk to you about a couple of reasons why you are stuck and even how to get over some of that. Because right now, there are many of you guys who are stuck and you're like, man, I don't want an expensive habit. I don't want an expensive hobby. And because you have an expensive hobby, you are stuck, right? And that's not what you did. You are in the business of being in business, right? And with that being said, we're going to make sure that we're talking about feeling stuck in your business and what to do with it. That's really what this is going to come down to, is what do you do when you feel stuck in your business? Now, what I'm going to share with you tonight will come across as, some of this you're going to do in your life. If you don't have a business, you're still going to get something out of this, because these are very much applicable to your life and to your business. But if you have a business, because guess what? If you're a new entrepreneur, if you're a person who is a side hustler who's looking to get rid of their 9-to-5 job, then you're in the right place, because you are my people. You are somebody who I am seriously wanting to speak to today. And I want to help you get the strategies, tips, and those things in order to overcome these hurdles so that you can get growing in your business and making the money you deserve. Matter of fact, my whole mantra is now, as we grow as a brand, we're growing as get moving, get noticed, get paid. What does that really mean? That means get your business moving forward. Is that something you want? Get noticed, because if you're not noticed, your business should not be the best kept secret. Everybody should be talking about your business, and ultimately you want to get you paid. So if you get your business moving, if you get noticed, then you get paid, right? Because value has to go first and finances come behind. And with that being said, we're going to have this great conversation around feeling stuck and what do you do about that? What do you do about feeling stuck? And here's the deal. The first thing I'm going to share with you tonight is simply this. The greatest enemy in your external process is your internal thoughts. Let that sink in for a second. The greatest enemy of your external process is your internal thoughts. And that's my wisdom bomb for the day. Because the wisdom of that is you are your greatest enemy, right? Everything we're going to talk about tonight, everything that we're in this conversation about has to come down to the fact that you, my friend, are your greatest enemy. And if you don't have the results that you want, if you don't have the business that's growing, like you're making money, because here's the deal. And I think one of my good friends, Manny, actually mentioned this. He said, and so did my other friend, Nicholas. He said, Nicholas Bailey, they said this. They said, if your business doesn't have money, your business is starving to death, because money is the lifeblood of your business. And if you're not having regular income, then you really just have an expensive hobby. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be out there giving blood, sweat, and tears for an expensive hobby, right? I want to give value. I want to do impact, but I want to be able to grow this and take care of my family, just like you want to grow and take care of your family, right? And with that being said, here's a great question for you. Have you ever felt stuck? Hit me up in the comments. Now, like I said earlier, my friends over there on Facebook land, if you're tuning in on Facebook, Facebook isn't letting you guys comment today. And I don't know why. I'm going to find out why, but I can't do that today. So if you're on Facebook, come over to that website, leadwithjim.live, and join me over here on the conversation over here on YouTube, because Facebook said, nope, read only for you guys. Sorry, much love. And if you do have the ability to chat or send me a message over there, I will answer any of all questions when I get back to it as we get some of the technical difficulties out. But leadwithjim.live, come over and join the conversation. So with that being said, where have you ever felt stuck before? Where have you ever get into a place where you're like, man, I just feel stuck? Was it in your business? Was it in your life? Where's the best place? Not the best place, but where's the most place you have been stuck? I want to know that in the comments. Hit me up there. And we're going to talk about 5 places you get stuck and what do you do with them? Like, what do you do with the 5 places you get stuck? Like, I'm going to give you a little tip here and there about, okay, so if you get stuck here, what do you do with that? What does that look like? How do you get over that, right? So let's begin. And the first thing is you fear rejection. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is going to be one of the hardest things. And it's the hardest thing because this is what keeps people off camera. This is what keeps people from off podcasts. This is what keeps people from even asking to be on a podcast. This gets people from asking for sales. This keeps people from all the things because you fear rejection. So if you feel like you've been stuck, if you feel like there is a place where your business isn't growing, one of the primary places could be that you feel stuck because you are afraid of what people are going to say about you, right? It's like that old thing. It's like, hey, here we go. Where's my little sound here? I like my sounds. There's my Mario death sound. Hey, what's going on, Miss Yaya Yonaria? That good to see you. I'm gonna put that up there. Hey, good to see you. See, if you're not making money, like you should be making more money. And if your business is stuck, if you're feeling stuck, it's because you're afraid of people. You're afraid of rejection, right? If you've ever gotten to that place where you're like, I know I need to make sales, but I'm afraid of what they're going to say. I know that Facebook Live and YouTube Live and all these live shows are the thing right now, but I'm afraid to get on camera, right? That's why you hire a guy like me to help you get on camera, or you come on live shows with me and I'll help you get on camera, right? But the deal is that you gotta be able to be sitting there and say, hey, I'm not going to be afraid because guess what? My family depends on my income, right? Is that you? Does your family depend on your income? Maybe you have a place where you are like, yo, I feel like I just don't want to get out there and be an impact to the world because I'm afraid of what people may think, right? And again, if you feel rejected, if you feel stuck, it's because you're afraid of what people say or what people will think about you. And I'm going to tell you that extra thing right there. Rejection doesn't pay the bills, guys. When you think about it, rejection doesn't pay the bills. Rejection actually steals from you. Rejection, the feelings of rejection actually steals your impact. It steals your ability to create wealth in your life. Many people are stuck broke. They may have a business, but they're at the bare minimum and they're stuck broke because they're afraid of rejection. What's the worst somebody can say to you? The answer is no. That's the worst somebody can say, right? It's the you didn't say the magic word, right? You didn't say please. It's like the worst that somebody says is when you get out there and say, hey, could you come to my Bible study? Hey, could you do this? Hey, let me tell you about a great thing that I'm doing that I think is going to benefit you, right? That's a sales proposition. And if you're afraid to do that because you're afraid of what people think, then you have to worry about getting over that section, because if you're not getting over the rejection, then you're not going to make the sale. You're not going to grow your business. You're not going to grow your Bible study. You're not going to grow whatever the thing that you're trying to grow. You're not going to, as long as you fear what people think about you. Now, there is some things that you need to do internally, and we're going to talk about that a little later in the show. But if you're not working internally, if you're constantly insecure, then you're never going to make the sale. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I told you on a previous show that I will always be real with you. I'm never going to coach you in a way that makes you feel good but causes you to not be successful. I'm always going to coach you in a way that's going to make you successful and create wealth or create that thing, that impact in your life. I'm always going to be honest with you because I want somebody to be honest with me. So I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm going to tell you, one of the greatest enemies of what I see people's businesses have been, why they stay small, is because they're afraid of rejection, right? I wouldn't care if I got on this live and nobody showed up. Why? Because there's always going to be the replay crowd. I wouldn't care if somebody got on this show and gave me a bad thing in the comments. Why? Because there's always going to be a troll. And as long as you realize that, there's always a troll, there's always somebody who's not going to show up, and there's always going to be somebody who's going to catch you on replay, you're good. Listen, let me give you some golden advice. Here's what I'm going to tell you. So lean in with me for a second. I just want you to lean in, because this is something that if you're taking notes, matter of fact, a short pencil is better than a long memory. If you want to catch anything, if this is the furthest you'll go in this show, but I want you to stay till the end, because at the end, I'm going to share with you some really cool stuff. Now, here's the deal is this: your opinion of me doesn't change who I am. Did you hear that? Your opinion of me doesn't change who I am. And so therefore, Other people's opinion of you should never derail you from your destiny. It should never derail you from your purpose. It should never derail you from pushing your business. It should never derail you from launching your book. It should never derail you from starting that blog. It should never derail you from making the biggest impact that you need to make, right? Because if you're afraid of other people's opinions, then the problem isn't them, the problem is you. And if you're going to get over this, then you've got to change some things inside. And again, I'm going to wait for that because that's going to be the gustos. We get to like number 4 in there. I'm like, boom, here's the thing you need to change. And I don't want to steal my thunder because it's so good. But here's the deal. I'm telling you this now because in the quiet times, in the times behind the scenes, when you're sitting there alone and instead of turning Netflix on, instead of turning Disney Plus or whatever your favorite show is, and for all you Star Wars, because may the 4th be with you, right? Because we remember, because it's the 4th of May, so it's the 4th. So we're going to be, may the 4th be with you. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. Not just that, I'm like a huge like everything nerd, right, when it comes to fandom. But the deal is, guys, is like instead of turning that on, take 5 minutes, take 10 minutes, and ask yourself simply this. What does other people's opinion matter? Now, there are people in my life. My wife's opinion of me is heavy. Like, I take what she says, right? I love what she says. But her opinion of me, and I've been married for 20 years, guys. We've been together a long time. That's a long time to pick up somebody's drawers, right? 20 years. Where's all my 20-year veterans? I can see Facebook is starting to let you guys talk again. What's going on, Facebook? A minute ago, they wouldn't let you talk, but now they are. Sweet. But here's the deal. Who's my veteran? How long have you been married? Put that in the comments for me. How long have you been married? Because I'm going to tell you, the longer you're married, the more their opinions, the more their thoughts matter, right? And my wife's opinion matters a lot. She's very wise. But her opinion doesn't change who I am, and my opinion should never change who she is, right? And that's what I want you to understand. So if you're playing the rejection game, it's internal, and you've got to work on that. Because if you're going to grow your business, your brand, your impact, or all that stuff, then your internal game has got to be healthy. And if you're so afraid of rejection, then internally there's something that's broken that needs to be made whole. And that's what we're going to come on and say. And let me say this, guys. And again, I love you so much that I want to tell you the truth on that, because that's the deal. That's what it comes down to, because I'm staying on this point for a little longer probably than I usually do, because I feel so terrible, because all the other things we're going to talk about tonight are all real. Every one of them, probably most of you are dealing with. I know I dealt with a lot of it, and I still navigate some of them, and I'm getting a little bit further ahead in them. But the deal is that I find that rejection is the number one thing. Because why? Because there is something inside of us, and maybe it had been something when you were a kid. Somebody hurt your feelings, somebody broke your heart, somebody threw you away, trashed you, or whatever it was, whatever that thing was, right? It caused an internal story. It caused an internal problem that causes you to not go after everything you want. And as long as you're afraid of rejection, your business doesn't grow, your impact doesn't grow. But if you get back in there and you sit there and say, hey, I'm okay regardless of what you say. I'm good. God told me I'm good. The Bible says I'm good. I don't need you to tell me how good I am, right? It took me a while to get there, guys. I just want to be real. Like, I was a people pleaser for so long. And I'm telling you, I was afraid of getting on camera, which, would you believe that? Like, I literally love camera. I've been told I have such a presence on camera, and I love it. I love being on camera. I love talking with you. I love what I do. But there was a time where I was super afraid of doing this. There was a time I was afraid of being in front of crowds. And now I've spoken in front of like 5,000 people, right? There was a time that, like, even praying in front of people, like, I was super scared. Like, I was like, no, so low that nobody can hear you, because I was afraid of what they would say. And then I came to a place, and this is the place I hope you get to soon if you're not already there. Their opinion doesn't matter. I'm going to be me. And if you don't like me, if you don't like my show, guess what? I'm getting better. I get 1% better every time I do this. 1% better every time I do my videos, my short forms on my channel, on my Facebook. Guys, if you're over here, come over to YouTube Live, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Hit the like button on the live stream because it actually pushes it out, it helps the algorithm. That was a side note. But here's the deal. I go live because this is my greatest gift. This is one of my greatest gifts. So I'm like, yo, why am I letting people's opinions keep me from building my business? Why am I letting people's opinions keep me from doing what I'm really wired to do? And that's communicate. So don't let people's opinions do that for you. That's what it comes down to. So Fran says this, it says, you told me what people say about me is none of my business. You are absolutely right. None of your business. They don't matter what they say. We got some people. Wow. I was 20-year veteran married. My buddy Rick, he is 40 years in. And then my brother Daryl, you ever see that one show? My brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl, right? My brother Daryl here is 30 years in. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. Love it. And then of course, thank you so much. Now, obviously Facebook user, I can't see who you are, but thank you so much for that. And then my brother, Brian, hey, Brian's another guy, subscribe to some of these guys' channel. He's a friend of mine, been together for a long time. Me and him known each other. I think, what is it? Like 15, 20 years now. And he's been married for 11 years. I love that. 11 years for you tomorrow. Wow. Happy anniversary. Thanks for tuning in. Happy anniversary. Love that. I remember when you got married too, brother. I do. It was such a good day. All right. So let's go on to number 2. You ready for number 2? Why you feel stuck and why your business isn't growing, right? Number 1 was like rejection. And that's the number one thing that we've got to really focus on. Now, you're going to find yourself in a lot of these. And at the end of this, I want to be able to get you to answer a question or two, and then we're going to get in there. And of course, hey, what's going on? I want to take a quick shout out to say, hey, my brother, this is actually my real brother. Like he's my half brother, but he's my real brother, like blood, like super excited. We didn't even know each other until like 5 years ago. So super, super happy to be with him. And then last comment right here says this, it says, hey, congrats. No, I just read that one. Thank you. There we go. We're getting click happy here, getting close to 20 years. We've known each other. Yeah, absolutely. So let's go into number 2 for why do you feel stuck? And remember, we do this every single week, guys, with the Everyday Leader Live. And the whole deal is let's get moving, let's get noticed, and let's get paid. That's what I want you to do. That's where my channel's starting to move to. That's what I'm going to help you with. And if you ever have a question, please shoot it out. I'll make a video for you. Let's do it. So number 2, and if you're feeling stuck and what to do about it and get your business growing, and so you don't have an expensive hobby, and I'm going to tell you fellow YouTubers out there, your YouTubing is your business. If you don't have an affiliate business, if you don't have a side business, YouTube is your business. So I want you to understand that, because YouTube is business. And please hear me when I say that this is part of my business model being on YouTube. It should be part of yours. I do monetize this. You should monetize yours. But here, let's talk about number 2. Number 2 of why you're feeling stuck is you're overthinking. Where are my classic overthinkers in the comments? Let me put the overlay here. Where is my classic overthinkers in the comments? Who are you? Because I'm going to tell you, there has been a time where I have been an overthinker, where I've thought too much, where I've gotten into this thing and I'm like, wow, let me make 48 lists of 50 different things that all matter, that all get to the place of, okay, here's this and here's this and here's this and here's that. And this is like 48 videos. Like, do you realize I've had 5 lists of about 50 videos of what I want to do for you guys? And I'm like, I want to do it all right now, but I can't. I've got to spread it out because that would like burn me out. But one of those things is, guys, is if you're a classic overthinker, you think too much and you don't act enough. You never know what people are going to want. You never know what people are going to respond to until you make imperfect action. And if you take imperfect action constantly, your business will grow, even if it's wrong action. Taking wrong action is better than taking no action, right? But you've got to get comfortable with number 1, which is rejection. And you've got to get comfortable with number 2 here, overthinking, because overthinking is a sign of perfectionism. Sometimes it's a personality thing. Like there's some of us who it's just like right down in there in the personality. But like, listen, sometimes you just have to hit live. Like some of you guys, I've encouraged highly who are watching this to go live, because you live streaming is where the world is moving. Video is where the world is moving. And I say, hey, go live. And if you've not gone live yet, why is that? I know, Natalie, I'm super proud of you. You're in the audience. You're here with me. She just went live. You know what? imperfect is better than done. Her camera view was sideways. She was fumbling a little bit, but you know what? I was so proud of her because she did what most people are afraid to do, and that's hit live anyway, right? Because a lot of times you just got to stop overthinking and then hit live. Because if you can do that, you can fight through it. Because I didn't get to be good like I am now until I started going live regularly. As a matter of fact, I went live for like 2 months straight. I didn't even know what I was talking about every day until I was like 5 minutes before it. And I just kept hitting live. And I just kept hitting live. And I had been a speaker for 10 years, 15 years before that. But that didn't matter because speaking in front of an audience is not the same as speaking to a camera. Because I've got to imagine you're sitting on the other side of this camera, listening and engaging and those things. But over time, I'm getting better. Over time, the show you see today will look nothing like the show a year from now. And it better be better than today. But you'll never get better until you start. And here's the deal. Most of you guys are stuck in the analysis of the paralysis, or the paralysis of the analysis, right? And you're stuck. Right. And I love this picture here for all you guys who can see it. Is simply overthinking is the art of creating problems that don't even exist. Like you're wondering what people are going to think of your content. It doesn't matter when you're just starting out. It doesn't matter. You get better. How do you know what people are going to respond to until you start? Right. And again, I'm speaking to new entrepreneurs, side hustlers, pastors who are trying to start another streams of income. But here's the deal, guys. It'll apply to your Bible studies. It'll apply to your prayers. It'll apply to whatever your life is. You never know what people will respond to until you start. Because you don't know the audience you already have around you. You don't understand who you're reaching until they engage. So when you guys talk to me on my streams, when you guys talk to me in my comments, I'm getting to know you. I'm knowing how you respond. I'm knowing what you respond to. I know I'm starting to get how you feel. And that matters to me because then you know why? Because my next video becomes content that's related to how you respond to this video. And you'll never get better until you start. Because here's the deal. Here's what it comes down to. Now that I have a better understanding of what people are struggling with, listen, many of you said, I'm an overthinker. Guess what one of my videos is going to be in the next few weeks? How to stop overthinking, right? That's how you read your audience. And you're like, who is my audience? The people that show up. I just want to tell you that. The people that show up and support you at first are your audience. And if I was to go through every person who's commenting or every person that comments on any of my stuff, I'm going to tell you it's 3 types of people. It's either those in ministry, those that are entrepreneurs, or those that want to be entrepreneurs, right? I don't attract many other people. I don't attract I don't attract corporate people. I don't attract certain other types, a lot of the online, different things, but I do attract entrepreneurs. 90% of the people I talk to are entrepreneurs. 90% of the people that comment on my stuff are entrepreneurs at some level, right? Many of the other ones are 9-to-5ers who are looking to get out of their job and start an extra stream of income. And even the pastors that I talk to, I'm not talking to the people who are fully set in their churches, trying to go to their churches. I'm talking to pastors who are bivocational or who want to start an extra stream of income to supplement everything they're doing so that they can do more ministry. Why? Because the extra streams of income pay for the bills so that they can be freed up to do other things. I'm talking to those people who want to make money, right? And so I'm niching down in my audience. But you know what? It took me a year to find that out. I kept speaking to the wrong audience because I was too thick-headed and I was too overthinking it to look at what was in front of me. And I wasn't going live and I wasn't producing content because I was trying to figure it all out instead of just saying, hey, let me go live. Let me find out who is here. Let me find out what's going on. And I'm just going to grow with them. We're going to grow together. My business is going to grow. Many of you will transition into my membership group. Many of you transition into some of the workshops I do. But you know what? I'm going to love you regardless. And I'm going to stay with you regardless because I love the audience that come and I'm that attracted to me. Why? Because I want to add the most value to you and I want to give you what you need to succeed because I believe in you. I believe in the gift of God that's inside of you. And I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that comes to pass. But there's going to be investment, and I'm not okay. I'm okay with that. But that's what we have to understand is all you classic overthinkers, guys, let's just get to the point where you understand that overthinking causes you to not grow. And if you want to grow, then we've got to challenge that overthinking and start doing it imperfectly and just go live. Do the next video. Get out there and get your offer out. Some of you guys don't have anybody in your memberships or your affiliates or anything because you're too afraid to ask. The worst they can say is no. And if that's the worst they can say is no, then you're good. Just get comfortable with no. Matter of fact, most of you guys have kids. You've told your kids 100 times no. So if you could tell people 100 times no, why can't you sit there and hear no? Right? So get to the place where you're comfortable with no, then get to the place where you stop overthinking, hit the live button, get the YouTube videos, get your YouTube growing, get your platform growing. Like I said, my mantra here is get moving, get noticed, and get paid. You're not going to get paid until you get moving and get noticed. You're not going to get noticed if you don't go live. You're not going to get noticed if you don't put out content. You're not going to get noticed if you don't put out that next video. And guess what? And if you're overthinking, you'll never move. And for my friends, my entrepreneur friends, like my brother Daryl, who is a door-to-door salesman in solar, man, the same thing happens for you. It's learning how not to overthink and getting better at what you do and understanding that the strategies that you come and you start putting into play is going to create more wealth, because then you're going to be able to do more with less time, and you just can be creative in that, right? And so like Michelle says right here, let me put this over here. Michelle says this. She says, because so many people associate no with rejection or abandonment. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful. And listen, you guys have got stories you need to tell. And if just, it's not rejection. Listen, I tell people no all the time. People drop in my DMs and they're like, hey, you want to buy this? And I'm like, no, I don't need your services. You know what? I'm okay with that. I actually tell them, I'm super proud of you and pumped that that you can actually come into feel comfortable enough to come into my DMs and say something. I think that's beautiful. And I wish more people would do it. But however, I will tell you this, I wish more people did it correctly, because I think there's too many spammy things out there. But if you do your sales correctly on relationship-based things and just have conversations and you're okay with no, then you're going to make so much more money. Right. And it just really comes down with that. And I agree with Natalie, and she says this, and she says, no is taken personally too often, starting to realize that even if they say no, it's not me, it's business. You don't always get out there and say yes to everybody who comes and offer you something. You don't. Listen, if you come and offer me baby clothes, I don't need baby clothes. So that's a pretty no. I'm not going to do that. If you come and offer me like a slim down thing, that's a hard pass. One of those little girdles you put on, that's a hard pass for me. You guys who are out there, like I get people dropping in my DMs. They're like, hey, let me sell you my thing and you can lose 48 pounds in 16 days. Hard pass. Did you not read my Facebook? Because I lost 40 pounds since October of last year. Like somewhere around October, I've lost 40 pounds. That's a hard no for me. Right? But like I was saying earlier, when you get to know your audience, you get to give them the right offers. So it becomes yes easier, but you learn to be comfortable with no. And that's okay, because you don't have to be an imposter, right? You don't have to come out and be like, yo, we're going to do 007 sales like nobody knows. No, you just get out there and you do relationship and you stop overthinking. You hit the live button, you get noticed. And even if you get one person to respond, you got noticed by somebody, and you keep doing it and you get 1% better every single time you go live, every single video, every single piece of content, whether it be a picture, a Facebook post, or whatever. You just get better over time. And don't be afraid to hear no, right? That's just what it comes down to. Let's put my little thing here. And if you guys, let's take a second here before we go into the next one. If you guys are loving this stream, if you're getting a lot of good value, do me a favor over there on YouTube, hit the like button for me, because YouTube algorithm picks it up once you hit the likes and they see the engagement. And if you guys are not over here on YouTube, I would love for you to come hang out with us. And you can hit this down, www.leadwithjim.live, and come over here to YouTube with us. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it would be an honor to journey with you, and just hit that subscribe button. turn on bells for notifications, because I want to journey with you guys on all that we're doing. Okay. So with that being said, let's go to the next one, guys. You ready for the next one? I'm ready for the next one, because the next one goes into the previous one, and it's going to be one of those things. Let's see if I can do this tonight, because I usually mess this up, and I'm okay, because I'm getting better with the sound transition. As you can see, right? There's no errors today. So with the sound transition, where is my drum roll? Everybody, let's do a drum roll, please. And we're doing a drum roll, and boom. Hey, we did it right. Hey, yeah, we're excited. That was really good. We're super excited about that one. That was super fun. All right, so you're not taking action. Okay, so this goes into, see how they're progressive. How many of you have already seen yourself in like the first three? Like fear of rejection, or overthinking, or now it's not taking action, because they really are all interrelated, and they're really connected. Because here's the thing, your business dies in inaction. And if you're not taking action, you're not making money. If you're not taking action, you're just having an expensive hobby, right? I don't want an expensive hobby. You don't want an expensive hobby. We don't want an expensive hobby, because your business matters. Like, do you believe your business changes lives? And guys, it doesn't have to be like, some of you guys are Bible teachers and you're working that. Some of you guys are coaches and online, experts. And some of you guys are door-to-door salesmen. You got to ask that question. Does your content, does your product change lives? If no, change the product. If yes, start taking action, even if it's imperfect action. No action equals no growth. No growth equals no business. And no business equals you've been lying to yourself, trying to tell yourself that you have a business, right? And you've got to work on the not taking action part. Like I said, some of you guys are like, yo, I'm afraid of being live. I'm afraid of being in front of things and cameras. I can do like pre-recorded, because then I can do this, because live, you don't have any filters. Like when something goes wrong, you just have to roll with it, right? But that's okay. Like, I'm going to tell you, and every single person on here should be able to do that, right? Go live, do the thing, have a conversation. Doesn't matter what your subject is, right? Daryl, my buddy Daryl, I'm going to pick on Daryl tonight. Daryl, like you over there, my friend, you could start it if you wanted to. I'm not saying that you have to, but if you wanted to start a YouTube channel, most people don't understand solar. So I know you sell solar. So what if you started a YouTube channel around solar? My brother Brian there, man, I love the man. And he just started a YouTube channel. I'm helping coach him. And he just started a YouTube channel around teaching the word of God to people. Why? Because he wants to bring context to the word of God in real life, real time things, so that people can live at their fullest, their highest, and their best. That's what he does. And I love it. And he just wants to continue to do that. And doing it on YouTube not only helps him accomplish that mission, but he's able to monetize YouTube at certain levels, and YouTube begins to pay him to teach the Bible. I mean, how much of a win-win situation could you be there? My sister Natalie there, like I've been coaching her for a year now, and I'm going to tell you, she wants to reach out to moms, like moms who want their lives back. Man, that's honorable. Yo, you moms who are like, feel like you've never had your life, or your life is over because you've had kids. Well, guess what? You're not over. And Natalie wants to change that in you. Michelle, oh my gosh. Let me tell you about a woman. If you don't understand what it's like to be a perseverer, that is a woman you need to talk to. There is not a single woman that I have ever met in my life with a story like hers, and how God has shown up in her life so amazingly, and how she still presses on in spite of all the craziness, all the stuff. I mean, she has been hooked up to more surgeries and machines than anybody I know, and her attitude is amazing. And she loves people, and she wrote a book, and she's starting a business in order to help people get, hope and get past things and all that, while she fends for herself and makes money in order to grow her own life and the desires she has in the midst of all that. What an amazing story. Get out there and tell your story. You all have a story to tell. Right? And isn't it great that I knows a lot of your stories? My sister Fran, listen, girl, you are one of the most amazing people when it comes to loving people and growing things that deal with feeding people. My gosh, you are so amazing at it. So the deal is, guys, is like, what are you doing? My little brother, Ricardo there, Freddie over there in the comments, my literal brother has an incredible musical talent, right? What are you doing with it? Are you just sitting it on and be like, yo, this is cool. I made another gig, but nobody's going to see it. I'm not going to sell it. What are you doing? People need to see your brilliance. The guys, you guys on the live stream, people need to see your brilliance. And if they see your brilliance, then their lives will be changed. If they see your brilliance and they get value, they will give money for value. So your life becomes impacted, because I'm going to tell you, broke people can't help people. And you may have this beautiful thought about how much people you want to help, but if you don't have money, you can't help anybody. And so if you're not taking action, you're not growing your business. If you're not growing your business, you don't have a financial outpouring coming into your life. And if you don't have a financial outpouring coming into your life, there's not much you're going to do. You're going to struggle paycheck to paycheck, gig to gig, and you're going to wonder how things are trying to get paid. You're going to feel all intense. But here's how you fix that. You take massive action. You just take massive action. I don't know what that is for your business. And if you'd love to jump on a coaching call, I'm happy to do that. Just let me know in the comments. Say, hey, listen, I'd love a 15-minute call, and let's jump it on and see if I can help you. But here's the deal. The bottom line is, if you don't take massive action or critical action to change, then your business is not going to be more than what it is now. And most of you guys, it's not a business. I mean, like, if I was to ask you, have you made your first dollar online? If not, then we need to get that in gear. Maybe you haven't, maybe your goal is $5,000 a month and you haven't done that. Why not? Take action. Keep going, pushing. Take the action you need and get to the results that you want. And if you have the wrong product, if you do not believe your product changes lives, change your product. But if you believe it and you're not sharing it, then here's the deal. You're selfish. You're selfish. If you're not sharing it and you're giving all these excuses why you can't get out there and share your product, why you can't get out there and share your services, you are selfish. Like I told you guys, a lot of things I talk about is not always going to be the most popular, but it's going to be the very thing you need that's going to get you to grow. And it's going to grow your business, grow your impact, because guess what? It's about getting moving, getting noticed, and getting paid. But everybody wants to get paid, but they don't go through the hard work to get paid because they don't get noticed. They don't build their channels. They don't build their platforms. They don't get on stages. They don't get published, right? I've done all of that, and I want to help you with that. They don't get out there and they don't get their business moving because they're so stuck in insecurities and overthinking, and they're stuck in rejection, right? And that's the problem. And I like what my friend Yaya here. She's such a sweet lady. And here's the deal. I love this lady, and she is such a sweet lady. And she's got a cleaning company that she just started, but she says I'm a bit shy. And I want to tell you this, and I appreciate for your vulnerability and I so much appreciate your you wanting to share that. And here's why I want to tell you what I want to tell you, because you're not the only one. Matter of fact, I could probably point out 2 or 3 people that are shy as well. But here's the deal. What is your goals in life? Because shyness doesn't, your goals being accomplished, right? Shyness won't get that. So you've got to figure out what's more important, you being shy or the accomplishment of your goals. What's going to have a bigger impact? You feeling comfortable, or you getting to a place where you're doing the thing to get the business going so that you can create the life for your daughter, so you can create the life for you, so you're not always in this place of struggling. So weigh them out. Like, what is the truth for you? Are you going to live in eternal struggle because your excuse is that you're shy? Or are you going to push yourself out there and just keep pushing? Listen, it's all about getting 1% better. It's not about introverts becoming extroverts. That's not what this is about. I am an extrovert. Don't be me. I am not shy when it comes to talking to people. That's okay. But in your personality, in your ways, get out there and do the thing that's going to be okay within you. But shyness is an excuse. Because every time you use an excuse, you don't get paid. You don't have that next conversation, because it's not about what you're doing now. It's about the one coming up, right? The person who already paid you for your services is already paid. What about the next person that you haven't talked to yet? That's all of this. And the same goes and I'm going to shout out one of my friends here, a really great guy, Leadership with Mike. If you're a manager and haven't followed his channel, go ahead and follow his channel. He just launched something for managers, about, delegation 101 for managers. It's a great thing. But here's the deal. Again, It comes down to that in action. He took action. He threw it out there. It doesn't matter if you have a service-based business, an online business, a door-to-door business. Shyness is an excuse that keeps you from living at your fullest potential. And as long as you're going to not live at your fullest potential of what God has put you in, what God has purposed you, what God has designed you, then you're selling yourself short. And everybody that could be blessed by you will no longer be blessed by you because you're too afraid to get out there. And I want you to hear that because, again, take action, do it imperfectly, fumble over your words because eventually you become comfortable with what's uncomfortable, right? And it really does. And I like what Natalie says there. We're going to put this up here for a second and then we'll go into the next one. It says, putting myself out there as an introvert and an S personality is tough. You're absolutely right. It's very, very, very tough. And here's the deal. Again, we can live in these things and say, and limit by the things that we put on ourselves and say, I'm an S personality. For all you guys who don't know what that is, I did 2 videos on DISC personality profiling. You can look it on my channel. Go check them out. I'm not going to go into it right now, but the reality of it is an S personality is very shy, very, very laid back, very kind of, I don't like conflict. So I'll leave it at that, but you can watch the full video of the entire 4 gambit of personalities. I'm certified leadership personality profiler. So DISC personality. So go grab those and go listen to that whole thing. It's on the channel. So here's the deal. So again, putting yourself out there is hard for you. Absolutely. And I like the acknowledgement. You're not going to be me. There's not going to be energetic, but guess what? You're not going to attract my audience. And that's okay because I'm not going to attract the people who are attracted to you. And you've got to grow comfortable with that. Like I'm not going to reach your people and your people are not going to come to me. And my people are not going to come to you, right? Because the people that I'm attracted to need something harder. They need something more energetic. Like, why do you stay with me? But the people that need that softness, that shyness, that beauty that comes from you need you, right? That's who you're going to reach. Do you to who you're going to reach the way you're going to reach them. That's how your business is going to grow. I'm not afraid to make myself look like a fool. I'm not afraid to be wrong. I'm not afraid to be energetic on camera because this is part of just who I am. I mean, this is what you get in the outside and not on camera too. But the deal is don't be afraid not to act. Don't be afraid not to put yourself out there because again, shyness is never an excuse for your lack of business growth. I want to say that one more time. Shyness is never an excuse for your lack of business growth. I knew a teacher one time. Let me tell you the story. I knew a teacher one time, and guys, stick around for the next one because I'm going to tell you another story that how I lost $50,000 in one sentence. So here's the deal. So the deal is with this is I knew a teacher. He was probably the most introverted person I have ever met in my life. Like he's the type of guy, like he would go to his office, shut the door, and you wouldn't see him until the next class. You didn't even know he existed. Right? Brian would know him, Dr. Moon, and I loved him. He was one of my favorite teachers, but he was one of the most introverted teachers I've ever seen. But when he was in the classroom, this is a guy who, when he got into his zone, when he did what he was gifted to do and teach, this guy was boisterous. He was loud. He jumped on tables every now and then. You're like, this is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You're like, what is going on here? But you understand something. He wasn't going to let his extreme introvert nature take away or say that he couldn't do something. He leaned into who he was and he leaned into what he was passionate about and he got his message across. So what are you passionate about and what are you leaning into that's going to change lives? He changed my life. And he could have said, well, I'm just introverted and I don't want to do this. But he chose not to. And he changed my life because of it. What are you doing? Your business is not just a business that makes you money. Your business is a life-changing vehicle that's going to be used to impact people's lives. Think of it that way. Reframe it. So yeah, hey, listen, we got the corner. Preach it, bro. Yeah, we're preaching it. Yo, throwing it down, right? What do we got? Let's do it. Let's do my foghorn. Yeah, we gonna do it. Woo! All right, you guys ready? I'm loving this. So let's do the next one here. We're gonna get in there, and this is where I get to a place, and I want to say this because I love it when you guys comment. If you got any questions, shoot them in the comments, guys. Let's have a conversation. Freddie here, my brother, says, I felt it when you said how you first started praying in front of people. You would pray low. Absolutely. I would sing low at first in front of people. Now, like you, I have the confidence. That's how you do it. Started afraid and get better as you go. That's how it works. You get confidence as you go. You don't get confidence, then you do it. You do it, and then you get confidence. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate this so much. So here we go. We're going for the next one. Your internal narrative is why you're stuck. Your story is why you're stuck. Oh my goodness. Here's one of the craziest, man. It's like everyone has a story. Here, I want to show you the picture there. There you go. Oh, I like that. You see how it jumped on top of each other? Man, that's super cool. Like, but I don't like that. I like it being underneath me. Yeah, look at that. And I switched it. Isn't this so cool? Technology is so much fun. What convinced you keeps you. I want you to know that. So what convinced you keeps you, right? So what convinced you keeps you. If that's true, you've convinced yourself you're not good enough. You've convinced yourself your business will never take off. You've convinced yourself that YouTube isn't a business. You've convinced yourself that your Facebook platform, your Instagram platform cannot be used for business. Whatever you've convinced yourself of keeps you. And because it keeps you, you're not growing. You're stuck. And I want you to be in a place, guys, where you understand the stories you tell are the challenges you face, right? So the stories you tell are the challenges you face. And because of that, if you tell yourself this, you're going to believe it. It's convinced you. It's got you. It's got your attention. And because it's got your attention, and let's see if we can do this. There. Oh, I want this. Yeah, there we go. And because it's got your attention, because it's got your heart, you will never be more than the story you tell. Now, some of you guys got it down where you're telling yourselves amazing, powerful stories and you're getting it. You're on it. You're good. Man, I applaud you. But I'm going to tell you, some of you guys are sitting there like, man, I just wish I wish I was good enough. You are good enough. You're like, well, I'll never make money. You will make money. You're like, well, my business will never grow. Your business is going to grow. How are you telling the stories that are going to cause you to be able to do that? So I told you I'd tell you a $50,000 story, right? Let's see. I'm going to need a drink of water here. I'm going to tell you, I lost $50,000 in one sale. It was like crazy. So I was just starting out, and this goes into the next thing too. I was just starting out, and the next one is our last one. So I want you to know that. So I was just starting out as a coach. Like I had been coaching for like 20 years though, like 15 years before this. This is about 5 years ago. And I have been a speaker on stages for like 10, 15 years. And I've been a pastor and I've been coaching, and a lot of that was free. I've been a teacher. So I was coaching students. I was coaching people at the church. I was coaching online. And so I was not a novice at this time when by any means, right? I had a degree in leadership. I had all this stuff. I had all the right credentials. What I didn't have was the right story. And because I didn't have the right story, I met this guy and we were at a conference. It was a huge major conference where mega millionaires were there. And like half the room were all $1 million earners, right? And I met this one guy. He was an Uber millionaire and nice guy. And we got to talking and he's like, man, I'm looking for a coach. And he's like, I need somebody who's going to help me frame things and actually speak and get on stages and stuff. And I just share, well, if you do this, this, and this, you'll get on stage. It's just having conversation. He's like, dude, he's like, what is your offer? How much do you charge? Because I'm ready to hire you right now. He says, you really know what you're talking about. And you know what I did? I looked down and I said, well, and he said, stop me right there. The moment I looked down and said, well, he's put his hand up and said, I'm not hiring you. He says, I was going to drop up to $50,000 to work with you for a year. He said, but now because of your lack of confidence in this, because it was the offer, he says, I'm not going to hire you and I'm going to hire somebody else. He says, because I can't work with you because you don't understand your value. This is like 5 years ago. He's like, you don't understand. It was one of the most painful, most crazy times. It made you want to cry. I even had a picture of it on Instagram. I was so sad. I ate a giant Rice Krispie treat and there's this big thing in my mouth about Rice Krispie treat. And then I was just talking about how I was almost semi-depressed that I just literally lost a $50,000 sale because I looked down and I looked away and I stumbled over my offer. Why did I do that? Because I didn't believe my offer was good enough for somebody like him. I didn't believe that I was good enough for somebody like him. And because I had a poor story, he wasn't going to hire me because of it. And it cost me $50,000. He never hired me. But he gave me one of the most valuable lessons. And it was that time where I said, you know what? That will never happen again. That will never come and be my story ever again. And it hasn't, because I'm not going to be afraid to ask for the sale. I'm not going to be afraid to share the value of it. Like when people say, how much is your membership? Boom, this is what I charge. How much is your coaching? Boom, this is what I charge. How much is your course? Boom, this is what I charge. And I don't skip a beat. Well, what if somebody sits there and says, I don't know if I can afford it? Well, that's on them, not me. And I can work with people on certain payment plans and make it more easier for them. But it goes into the next thing we're about to go in. But you've got to overcome your story as you go, because I had to overcome in my story that I can't invest in myself because I wasn't good enough, or that and all that. And what convinced me kept me, and it kept me broke. And many of you guys are stuck in your business. Many of you guys are stuck where you are. You're not growing YouTube. You're not growing your business. You're not growing your potential. Why? Because you told yourself something and you've sat in it and you've laid in it, and all you have is just that. And I want you to hear the fact that that's what's keeping you at a lower level, guys. That is why you are not growing. And I hate that that's like that. But it's a truth. So you've got to change the internal narrative. You got to tell yourself a better story. That brings us down to the last one. And this one is going to be another live in itself. But I want to share it here because I think this is another very valuable one. I saved it for last because the last one goes into this one, because they're both your story and your relationship with money are both probably one of the primary things next to rejection that is keeping you from making money. Yep. Your relationship with money is keeping you from making money, because the key is you need to relate to money properly. Let me tell you this. Let me jump this. And yeah, Natalie, let's go ahead and schedule a call. I see your comment there. Let's go ahead and schedule a call after our live. So here's the deal. So when you have a poor relationship with money, like say if you're a Christian, like I'm a Christian, you guys know that. If you're not a Christian and we still accept you, just understand that sometimes that's my context. So here's the deal. Like, I'm a Christian, and there's a lot of people I know in the faith who believe that money's evil. No, that's not what it is. Money is the root, not the root of all evil. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil, right? We take Bible out of context, and we put this big old thing to it, and we're like, what? No. Or we have a money story that we've got from our parents or from our grandparents when we're young, and we say we were always meant to be broke, or we were always meant to do this. Or if you're in ministry, all ministry people need to be broke, and then even the people who aren't in ministry tell you that if you're in ministry, you need to be broke, and if you make money, you're not doing God's work. What a bunch of lies! What a bunch of boo-ha-ha! All that stuff. Because guess what? God gave you the power to create wealth. God gave you that ability. So why not use that ability? Don't matter if you're in ministry or if you're out of ministry, or if making money is your ministry. But the honest thing of the truth is what are you doing with the money is what matters, and how you leverage it and where you put it is what matters. But to get that wealth, and I've said this earlier, broke people can't help people. And so many want to take the world by storm. And so many want to help all the homeless and the poor and all this stuff. But you can't rub two nickels together and pay your bills, let alone help a whole generation of people who are looking for help, looking for a way to get out of their situations. Well, and if you're not going to overcome your money situation, you'll never help them overcome theirs. Because isn't that really what a business is all about? Isn't that really what you're here is to impact people? And if you're going to impact people, then impact starts with impacting myself first, because I can't give people what I don't have. And if I'm in there and I'm like that last one, if I'm changing my money story, if I'm changing my perspective, if I'm learning to change my story and how I relate to myself and relate to the money and relate to all this, then I get to a place of health. And when I'm a place of health, healthy things grow, and growing things reproduce, and reproduce things grow, right? It just is a great cycle, and they're all healthy. So if your business is going to be healthy, if you're going to be unstuck, then you got to follow these things and work on overcoming rejection, work on your money story, work on your fear, or your story, that internal narrative, work on overthinking, work on that other one, which is, escapes me. Let's pull it down. Work on taking action. See, I pulled it down out of the sky. I was like, yo, what was that? There we go. See, we got it. We're good. We're all right. We're there. So here's the deal. You got to work on these 5 things if you ever want to start making money. Look, I don't want your business to be a hobby. I don't want your business to be the best kept secret, but you're not going to get moving. You're not going to get noticed. And you're not going to get paid if you're falling into the same old routines of making excuses, feeling like you can't relate to money, feeling like your story is what convinced you keeps you, and getting into these places where rejection's keeping you down. You have a business that you need to grow. You have a generation you need to touch. You have people that need your services. And how selfish are we if we're not constantly working on these things to grow the things that we need inside of us to grow our business? Because I know the more money you have, the more you can help people, right? And the more you help people, the better this place called Earth is. You can't die with it. You can't back your U-Haul up to a grave and take it with you. Well, so why not use it? Why not bless people? Why not change people's lives? My wife and I have goals of funding churches and funding orphanages and starting schools and starting a what is it called? A foundation that helps research and mental illness. And we want to, Operation Underground Railroad is one of our favorite charities, which gets out there and saves people from sex slavery. These are some of the favorite things. And we do give to these things. But guess what? We want to 10x. We want 100x. We want to get to a place where we're giving so much freaking money to these things that we're making real differences. But unless you're relating to your story, unless you're relating to money better, it's just not going to happen. Because here's the deal. Oh, let's do this. Here's the deal. Go is greater than stop. Go is greater than stop, guys. If you're going to go, let your why be greater than what's stopping you. Because that's the key. And again, these things could be in your business or they can be in your life. But whatever's causing you to stop, your go has to be bigger. If you want to get in there and join a membership community that I'm just starting, and matter of fact, I don't even know if this membership community is going to be around next year, but right now it's here. It's starting. It is going to be around it's going to be called the 818 community. It is going to be around some other cool things that are coming from that. But the deal is it's learning to get your business off the ground, like focusing on getting through the noise, picking the right things. And, getting out there, growing your YouTube, growing your platforms, getting on stages, we're going to get really deep into that. If that's something you want to be part of, just hit me up. I want you to be part, but only if you want. I'm not chasing anybody for their dreams. Like, I gave up on that. I gave up on chasing people for their dreams, and I want you to go after your own dreams. That's really what it comes down to. I'm going to put some mood music on while we get out of here. Yeah, got that. We got some rock. I want you to do that. So here's my question as we end the day. What stood out to you? What was the number one thing that hit you up? What was the number one thing that you said, you know what, that's what I got to work on, number one? Hit me in the comments. Let me know what that number one thing is. You guys over there on Facebook, I actually am not sure if that's working yet, but if not, I still love you guys and each and every one of you guys on Facebook. And I'm going to find out why it says not working. But I know I'm live over there, but it just says comments weren't working. So all you guys over there on there, we still love you. You guys, my new family over there on D Live, so much love you as well. Make sure you, whatever station or whatever you're tuning into on, if you're here on YouTube with me, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Do me a favor too. I mean, we do this every week. We do. Let me get off of this thing right here. We do this every single week. Invite a friend. Take this website and invite somebody and say, hey, you need to go check this channel out, and invite them. That www.leadwithjim.live. Share that with some people. I want to grow this channel. I want to blow this channel up so that we can create the greatest content. We can create the greatest experiences for the users, for the audience, that helps them get moving, that helps them get noticed, and helps them get paid. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, guys. Now, as always, we answer your questions each and every week. So if you do have questions, drop them in the comments, shoot me an email, shoot me a general message, because here's what I know is that I want to answer your questions. And if I can't do it live, I will create a video and I will put it up on the channel for you and for your friends. So guys, much love. Thank you for hanging out with me. Now we do this every night, not every night. Maybe we should do this every night, but we don't. We do this every Tuesday because I want this to be real. I want this to be fresh, and I want this to be for you. So we do this every Tuesday at 7. Why did I change it from Fridays? And I'm going to give you the quick thing of that is I changed it from Fridays because Friday night is family night. I want a family night. I want to be with my family. And I want to decompress from working so hard during the week, and I know you do. So we came in and did this on Tuesdays, and here we are. And this is what we thought to be the best time, from 7 to 8 time. So join us each and every week at 7 to 8, and let's bounce a little bit. We're going to bounce out. And guys, much love. Catch you on the replay. Remember, hit the like on YouTube, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and just look out later this week. I will be dropping a video. It's going to be a 3-minute video for you that's going to speak to get moving, get noticed, and getting paid. So much love. Peace.